Have you ever felt like there's more to life than what meets the eye? Like you're suddenly seeing the world in a whole new light? That's what spiritual awakening is all about. It's like waking up from a long, deep sleep and realizing that the world is so much bigger and more amazing than you ever thought possible. This journey of spiritual awakening isn't just some far-out idea. It's a real experience that can turn your whole life upside down in the best way possible. Think about it for a second. Imagine you've been living your life, going through the motions day after day. Then suddenly, it's like someone flipped a switch inside you. Colors seem brighter, your thoughts feel clearer, and you start to notice little things you've never paid attention to before. That's the magic of spiritual awakening. It's not about becoming a different person overnight. It's about uncovering who you really are, deep down inside. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but what does it really mean for me? Well, let me tell you, when you go through a spiritual awakening, it's like putting on a pair of glasses that let you see the truth of the world. Suddenly, you start to understand why things happen the way they do. You begin to feel more connected to the people around you, to nature, and even to yourself. It's like finding a missing piece of a puzzle you didn't even know was incomplete. But here's the thing. This awakening doesn't just happen by chance. It's something that grows inside you, little by little. Maybe you've already felt it starting. Perhaps you've had moments where you felt incredibly peaceful for no reason, or times when you suddenly understood something about life that you never got before. These are all signs that you're on the path to spiritual awakening. Now, I'm not saying this journey is all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes, it can feel pretty tough. You might start questioning things you've always believed in, or feel a bit lost as your old way of seeing the world falls away. But trust me, these challenges are all part of the process. They're like growing pains, uncomfortable, but necessary for your growth. The best part about spiritual awakening is that it's not some exclusive club that only a few people can join. It's open to everyone. You don't need any special skills or knowledge. All you need is an open mind and a willingness to look at the world and yourself in a new way. And the rewards? They're beyond anything you can imagine. Let me share a little story with you. A few years back, I was going through life on autopilot. I had a good job, a nice place to live, and plenty of friends. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside, I felt empty. It was like I was just going through the motions, not really living. Then one day, I decided to take a walk in the park near my house. It was something I'd done 100 times before, but this time was different. As I was walking, I suddenly noticed how green the leaves on the trees were. I mean, really noticed. It was like I was seeing them for the first time. I could hear birds singing, and it sounded like the most beautiful music I'd ever heard. At that moment, something shifted inside me. It was like a fog had lifted from my mind. I realized that I had been so caught up in my daily routine that I'd stopped noticing the beauty all around me. This simple walk in the park turned into a profound experience that kick-started my spiritual awakening. From that day on, I started to see things differently. I began to appreciate the small moments in life. A smile from a stranger, the taste of my morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on my face. I started to feel more connected to the world around me and to the people in my life. It wasn't always easy. There were times when I felt confused or overwhelmed by these new feelings and insights. But even in those tough moments, I knew deep down that I was on the right path. This experience taught me that spiritual awakening doesn't have to be some grand, dramatic event. It can start with something as simple as truly seeing a leaf or hearing a bird sing. It's about waking up to the wonder and beauty of life that's always been there, just waiting for us to notice it. Now that I've shared my story, let's dive a little deeper into what spiritual awakening really means. At its core, spiritual awakening is about waking up to a deeper reality. It's like you've been watching life on a small, fuzzy TV screen, and suddenly someone hands you a pair of 3D glasses and turns on a big screen HD TV. Everything becomes clearer, more vivid, and more real. But it's not just about seeing the world differently. It's also about seeing yourself differently. When you go through a spiritual awakening, you start to realize that you're more than just your job, your relationships, or your possessions. You begin to understand that there's a deeper part of you. Some might call it your soul or your true self that goes beyond all these external things. This awakening can happen in many different ways. For some people, it might come through a life-changing event like surviving a serious illness or losing a loved one. For others, it might happen more gradually through practices like meditation or spending time in nature. And for some, like in my case, it can happen in a seemingly ordinary moment that suddenly becomes extraordinary. One of the most important things to understand about spiritual awakening is that it's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's like peeling away layers of an onion to get to the core. As you go through this process, you might find that some of your old beliefs or habits no longer fit who you're becoming. This can be scary, but it's also incredibly freeing. Spiritual awakening is also a journey of self-discovery. As you become more aware of the world around you, you also become more aware of what's going on inside you. You might start to notice patterns in your thoughts and behaviors that you never saw before. Maybe you realize that you often react to stress in a certain way, or that you have a habit of putting other people's needs before your own. This increased self-awareness can be both exciting and challenging. On one hand, it's amazing to understand yourself better and to see how you fit into the bigger picture of life. On the other hand, you might also become aware of parts of yourself that you're not so happy with. The key is to approach all of these discoveries with kindness and curiosity, rather than judgment. As you go through this process of self-discovery, you might find that your priorities start to shift. Things that used to seem super important, like having the latest gadget or impressing others, might not matter as much anymore. Instead, you might find yourself drawn to things that nourish your soul, like spending time in nature, creating art, or helping others. One of the most beautiful things about spiritual awakening is that it doesn't just change you. It can also change the world around you. As you become more aware and more connected, you naturally start to treat others with more kindness and compassion. You might find yourself wanting to make a difference in your community or to help protect the environment. This ripple effect of awakening is powerful. Imagine if more and more people started to wake up to their true selves and to the interconnectedness of all life. The world would become a more peaceful, loving, and harmonious place. And it all starts with one person, you, deciding to open up to the possibility of a deeper, more meaningful way of living. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I'm going through a spiritual awakening? Well, there are some common signs that many people experience. Let's explore a few of them. One of the first signs many people notice is a feeling of heightened awareness. You might start to notice things you've never paid attention to before. The way the light changes throughout the day, the subtle expressions on people's faces, or the intricate patterns in nature. It's like your senses have been turned up a notch, and you're seeing the world in high definition. Another common sign is a shift in your interests and values. Things that used to be super important to you, like climbing the corporate ladder or keeping up with the latest trends, might start to feel less meaningful. Instead, you might find yourself drawn to spiritual or philosophical topics, or feeling a strong urge to make a positive difference in the world. You might also experience changes in your relationships. As you become more aware and authentic, you might find that some relationships no longer feel right for you. At the same time, you might start attracting new people who are on a similar path or who resonate with your new energy. Many people going through a spiritual awakening also report feeling more connected to nature. You might feel a strong urge to spend time outdoors, or find that you're deeply moved by the beauty of a sunset or the majesty of a mountain range. This connection to nature often goes hand in hand with a growing sense of interconnectedness with all life. Another sign of spiritual awakening is increased intuition or inner knowing. You might start to trust your gut feelings more, or find that you just know things without knowing how you know them. This can be a bit unsettling at first, but many people find that as they learn to trust this inner guidance, it becomes a valuable tool in navigating life. It's important to note that spiritual awakening isn't always smooth sailing. Many people experience intense emotions as they go through this process. You might have moments of incredible joy and bliss, followed by periods of doubt or fear. This emotional roller coaster is totally normal and is often referred to as the dark night of the soul. During these challenging times, you might feel like you're losing your grip on reality. Old beliefs and patterns are falling away, but new ones haven't fully taken root yet. This can leave you feeling lost, confused, or even scared. Remember, these feelings are temporary and are actually a sign that you're growing and evolving. One day, you might feel on top of the world, filled with love and compassion for everyone and everything. The next day, you might feel irritable and impatient, wondering if you're making any progress at all. These mood swings can be intense, but they're a natural part of the awakening process. It's like your emotional system is recalibrating to a new way of being. Spiritual awakening doesn't just affect your mind and emotions. It can also bring about physical changes. Some people report feeling energy moving through their body, often described as tingling sensations or waves of heat. Others might experience changes in their sleep patterns, often waking up in the middle of the night feeling wide awake and alert. You might also notice changes in your energy levels. Some days you might feel incredibly energized, like you could conquer the world. Other days, you might feel completely drained and need more rest than usual. This is all part of the process as your body adjusts to the higher vibrations associated with spiritual awakening. Some people even report changes in their dietary preferences during this time. You might suddenly lose your taste for certain foods, especially heavy or processed ones, and find yourself craving fresher, healthier options. This is often seen as your body's way of aligning with your new, higher vibration. While spiritual awakening can be an incredibly positive and transformative experience, it's not without its challenges. One of the biggest hurdles many people face is dealing with the reactions of others. As you change and grow, the people around you might not understand what you're going through. They might think you're going through a phase or worry that you're becoming too out there. This can be especially challenging when it comes to close relationships. Your partner, family members, or longtime friends might struggle to understand or accept the new you. They might feel threatened by your changes or worry that they're losing you. Navigating these relationships during your awakening can require a lot of patience, communication, and compassion, both for others and for yourself. Another challenge is dealing with the contrast between your new awareness and the old world around you. As you become more conscious, you might find it hard to tolerate things like injustice, cruelty, or environmental destruction. You might feel a strong urge to change everything all at once, which can lead to frustration when you realize how slowly change often happens in the world. Doubt and fear are common companions on the spiritual awakening journey. You might find yourself questioning everything you've ever believed in, which can be pretty scary. Am I going crazy? What if I'm just imagining all of this? These kinds of thoughts are normal, but they can be unsettling. Fear might also come up as you start to let go of your old identity. Who are you if you're not the person you've always thought you were? What if you change so much that you lose your job, your relationships, or your place in society? These fears can be intense, but remember, true growth often requires stepping out of your comfort zone. The key to dealing with these challenges is to be gentle with yourself. Remember that spiritual awakening is a process, not a destination. It's okay to take things one step at a time. It's okay to have doubts and fears. It's okay to make mistakes. All of these experiences are part of the journey. Now that we've talked about some of the challenges, let's focus on the incredible benefits of spiritual awakening. One of the most profound changes many people experience is a deep sense of inner peace. As you become more aware and connected to your true self, you might find that the little things that used to bother you just don't seem as important anymore. This inner peace often comes with a greater sense of purpose. As you awaken, you might start to understand why you're here and what you're meant to do in this life. This doesn't necessarily mean you'll suddenly know your exact career path or life mission. It's more like a general sense of alignment with your true purpose, whatever that may be. Another beautiful benefit of spiritual awakening is increased compassion and empathy. As you start to see the interconnectedness of all life, you naturally become more understanding and forgiving of others. You might find yourself reacting with kindness in situations where you used to get angry or frustrated. Many people also report feeling a deep sense of joy and gratitude as they go through their awakening. This isn't the fleeting happiness that comes from external things like buying something new or getting a compliment. It's a deeper, more stable sense of joy that comes from within. You might find yourself feeling grateful for simple things like a warm cup of tea or a beautiful sunset. Spiritual awakening often brings about an expansion of consciousness. You might start to have insights or understandings that go beyond your normal way of thinking. Some people describe this as feeling more connected to a universal consciousness or source of wisdom. Your intuition might also become stronger. You might find that you just know things without knowing how you know them. This inner guidance can be incredibly helpful in making decisions and navigating life's challenges. Many people also report experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. You might think of someone and then they call you. Or you might keep seeing the same number everywhere you look. These synchronicities are often seen as signs that you're on the right path. Spiritual awakening can also bring about profound healing, emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. As you become more aware, you might start to release old emotional wounds or limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. This can be a bit uncomfortable at first, but it ultimately leads to greater freedom and well-being. You might also find that you naturally start to make healthier choices in your life. This could mean changing your diet, starting to exercise, or letting go of harmful habits. It's like your whole being is aligning with a higher way of living. Many people report that their relationships improve as they go through their awakening. As you become more authentic and loving towards yourself, you naturally become more authentic and loving in your relationships with others. You might find that you attract healthier relationships or that existing relationships deepen and become more meaningful. Perhaps one of the most significant benefits of spiritual awakening is that it gives you a whole new perspective on life. Things that used to seem like big problems might start to look more like opportunities for growth. You might start to see the bigger picture in situations where you used to get caught up in the details. This new perspective often comes with a sense of trust in the unfolding of life. Even when things don't go according to plan, you might find that you're able to stay calm and trust that everything is happening for a reason. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop trying to improve things. It's more like you learn to flow with life rather than constantly fighting against it. You might also develop a deeper appreciation for the mystery of life. Instead of needing to have all the answers, you might find joy in the questions themselves. This sense of wonder and curiosity can make life feel fresh and exciting, like every day is a new adventure. Signs of spiritual awakening. As we dive deeper into the spiritual awakening journey, it's important to recognize the signs that you might be experiencing this profound transformation. Remember, everyone's journey is unique, so you might not experience all of these signs, or you might experience them in different ways. That's perfectly okay. The key is to stay open and aware of the changes happening within and around you. One of the most common signs of spiritual awakening is a feeling of being more alive and awake. It's like you've been sleepwalking through life, and suddenly your eyes are wide open. Colors might seem brighter, sounds clearer, and you might notice details you've never seen before. This heightened awareness isn't just about your physical senses. You might also become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, noticing patterns you've never recognized before. Another sign is a growing sense of inner peace. This doesn't mean you'll never feel upset or angry again, but you might notice that you're able to return to a calm state more quickly after getting upset. You might find yourself less reactive to situations that used to push your buttons. It's like you're developing an inner anchor that keeps you steady even when life gets stormy. Many people going through a spiritual awakening experience a shift in their priorities and values. Things that used to seem super important, like having the latest gadget or climbing the corporate ladder, might start to feel less meaningful. Instead, you might find yourself drawn to activities that nourish your soul, like spending time in nature, creating art, or helping others. You might start asking big questions about the meaning of life and your place in the universe. As you go through this awakening process, you might notice changes in your relationships. Some friendships might start to feel less fulfilling, especially if they're based on superficial things like gossiping or complaining. At the same time, you might find yourself connecting more deeply with people who share your new interests and values. You might also start to feel a stronger connection to nature and all living beings. A walk in the park might feel like a spiritual experience. You might feel moved to tears by the beauty of a sunset or the sight of a bird in flight. This growing sense of connection often extends to all of humanity. You might find yourself feeling more compassion for strangers or caring more deeply about global issues. Another common sign of spiritual awakening is increased intuition or inner knowing. You might start to trust your gut feelings more, or find that you just know things without knowing how you know them. This can feel a bit weird at first, but many people find that as they learn to trust this inner guidance, it becomes a valuable tool in navigating life. Spiritual awakening doesn't just affect your mind and emotions, it can also bring about physical changes. Some people report feeling energy moving through their body, often described as tingling sensations or waves of heat. Others might experience changes in their sleep patterns, often waking up in the middle of the night feeling wide awake and alert. You might also notice changes in your energy levels. Some days you might feel incredibly energized, like you could conquer the world. Other days, you might feel completely drained and need more rest than usual. This is all part of the process as your body adjusts to the higher vibrations associated with spiritual awakening. Some people even report changes in their dietary preferences during this time. You might suddenly lose your taste for certain foods, especially heavy or processed ones, and find yourself craving fresher, healthier options. This is often seen as your body's way of aligning with your new, higher vibration. While spiritual awakening can be an incredibly positive and transformative experience, it's not without its challenges. It's important to be aware of these potential difficulties so you can navigate them with grace and understanding. One of the biggest challenges many people face during spiritual awakening is feeling out of sync with the world around them. As you start to see things from a new perspective, you might feel like you no longer fit in with your old life. You might find it hard to relate to friends or family members who don't understand what you're going through. This can lead to feelings of loneliness or isolation. Another common challenge is dealing with the dark night of the soul. This is a period of deep soul-searching and self-doubt that often comes with spiritual awakening. You might question everything you've ever believed in, which can be pretty scary. You might feel lost, confused, or even wonder if you're going crazy. Remember, this is a normal part of the process. It's like you're clearing out old beliefs and patterns to make room for new growth. Spiritual awakening can also bring up old emotional wounds or unresolved issues. As you become more aware, you might start to notice patterns in your behavior or relationships that stem from past hurts. This can be painful, but it's also an opportunity for deep healing. It's like these issues are coming to the surface to be acknowledged and released. One of the toughest challenges of spiritual awakening can be navigating relationships. As you change and grow, the people around you might not understand what you're going through. They might think you're going through a phase or worry that you're becoming too out there. This can be especially difficult with close relationships like partners, family members, or longtime friends. You might find that some relationships no longer feel right for you. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to cut people out of your life, but you might need to set new boundaries or find new ways of relating. At the same time, you might start attracting new people who are on a similar path or who resonate with your new energy. It's important to be patient and compassionate, both with yourself and with others, as you navigate these changes. Remember that everyone is on their own journey, and not everyone will understand or be ready for the changes you're experiencing. Another challenge that often comes with spiritual awakening is increased sensitivity. As you become more aware and open, you might find that you're more affected by the energy of people and places around you. Crowded places might feel overwhelming. You might pick up on other people's emotions more easily, which can be draining if you don't know how to protect your energy. This heightened sensitivity can also extend to world events. You might feel more deeply affected by news of suffering or injustice in the world. While this increased compassion is beautiful, it can also be overwhelming if you don't learn how to balance it with self-care. Remember, these challenges are all part of the growth process. They're not punishments or signs that you're doing something wrong. They're opportunities for learning and evolution. The key is to be gentle with yourself as you navigate these changes. Now that we've talked about some of the challenges, let's focus on the incredible benefits of spiritual awakening. These positive changes can touch every aspect of your life, bringing more joy, peace, and fulfillment. One of the most profound benefits of spiritual awakening is a deep sense of inner peace. As you become more aware and connected to your true self, you might find that the little things that used to bother you just don't seem as important anymore. You might develop a greater ability to stay calm in stressful situations. This inner peace isn't about everything in your life being perfect. It's more like finding a quiet center within yourself that remains steady even when life gets chaotic. Another beautiful benefit is increased compassion and empathy. As you start to see the interconnectedness of all life, you naturally become more understanding and forgiving of others. You might find yourself reacting with kindness in situations where you used to get angry or frustrated. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or let people walk all over you. It's more like you're able to see beyond surface behaviors to the shared humanity in everyone. Many people also report feeling a deep sense of joy and gratitude as they go through their awakening. This isn't the fleeting happiness that comes from external things like buying something new or getting a compliment. It's a deeper, more stable sense of joy that comes from within. You might find yourself feeling grateful for simple things like a warm cup of tea or a beautiful sunset. Spiritual awakening often brings a greater sense of purpose and meaning to life. You might start to understand why you're here and what you're meant to do in this life. This doesn't necessarily mean you'll suddenly know your exact career path or life mission. It's more like a general sense of alignment with your true purpose, whatever that may be. You might find that you're drawn to make a positive difference in the world. This could be through your work, through volunteering, or simply through being a more compassionate presence in your daily life. Even small acts of kindness can take on a new significance as you realize the ripple effect they can have. This sense of purpose often comes with increased motivation and passion. You might find yourself feeling more excited about life and more willing to step out of your comfort zone to pursue your dreams. It's like you're tapping into a wellspring of energy and inspiration from within. Spiritual awakening often brings about an expansion of consciousness. You might start to have insights or understandings that go beyond your normal way of thinking. Some people describe this as feeling more connected to a universal consciousness or source of wisdom. Your intuition might also become stronger. You might find that you just know things without knowing how you know them. This inner guidance can be incredibly helpful in making decisions and navigating life's challenges. It's like you have access to a deeper source of wisdom within yourself. Many people also report experiencing synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. You might think of someone and then they call you. Or you might keep seeing the same number everywhere you look. These synchronicities are often seen as signs that you're on the right path. Spiritual awakening can also bring about profound healing, emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. As you become more aware, you might start to release old emotional wounds or limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. This can be a bit uncomfortable at first, but it ultimately leads to greater freedom and well-being. You might find that old habits or addictions naturally fall away as you no longer need them to cope with life. You might start making healthier choices without even trying, as your body and mind align with your higher awareness. Many people report that their relationships improve as they go through their awakening. As you become more authentic and loving towards yourself, you naturally become more authentic and loving in your relationships with others. You might find that you attract healthier relationships or that existing relationships deepen and become more meaningful. Perhaps one of the most significant benefits of spiritual awakening is that it gives you a whole new perspective on life. Things that used to seem like big problems might start to look more like opportunities for growth. You might start to see the bigger picture in situations where you used to get caught up in the details. This new perspective often comes with a sense of trust in the unfolding of life. Even when things don't go according to plan, you might find that you're able to stay calm and trust that everything is happening for a reason. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop trying to improve things. It's more like you learn to flow with life rather than constantly fighting against it. You might also develop a deeper appreciation for the mystery of life. Instead of needing to have all the answers, you might find joy in the questions themselves. This sense of wonder and curiosity can make life feel fresh and exciting, like every day is a new adventure. Now that we've explored the signs, challenges, and benefits of spiritual awakening, let's talk about how you can support this amazing journey. Remember, spiritual awakening is a process, not a destination. These tips can help you nurture your awakening and make the most of this transformative experience. One of the most powerful things you can do to support your spiritual awakening is to practice mindfulness. This simply means being present in the moment, aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. You don't need to meditate for hours every day, although that can be great if you enjoy it. Even a few minutes of mindful breathing or paying attention to your senses as you go about your day can make a big difference. Another important practice is self-reflection. Take time regularly to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What thoughts keep coming up? What patterns are you noticing in your life? You might want to keep a journal to track your experiences and insights. Writing things down can help you process your thoughts and emotions, and it's interesting to look back and see how you've grown over time. Spending time in nature can be incredibly supportive during spiritual awakening. Nature has a way of calming our minds and opening our hearts. Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or just sitting in your backyard, try to connect with the natural world regularly. Notice the beauty around you. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Breathe in the fresh air. It's important to remember that spiritual awakening isn't just about the spirit. It involves your whole being. Taking care of your physical body is an important part of supporting your awakening. This might mean making changes to your diet, starting a gentle exercise routine, or getting more sleep. Listen to your body. It often knows what it needs. Feeding your mind is equally important. Read books that inspire you or challenge your thinking. Listen to podcasts or talks by spiritual teachers. Explore different philosophies and belief systems. But remember, the goal isn't to accept everything you read or hear. Use your own discernment and intuition to figure out what resonates with you. Creativity can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth. Whether it's painting, writing, dancing, or any other form of expression, creative activities can help you process your experiences and connect with your inner self. Don't worry about being good at it. The important thing is the process, not the product. While spiritual awakening is a deeply personal journey, connecting with others can be incredibly supportive. Look for like-minded individuals who are on a similar path. This could be through joining a meditation group, attending workshops or retreats, or participating in online communities. Sharing your experiences with others who understand can be validating and inspiring. At the same time, it's important to maintain boundaries and trust your own journey. While it can be helpful to learn from others, remember that your path is unique to you. What works for someone else might not be right for you, and that's okay. Don't forget about your existing relationships. While some people in your life might not understand what you're going through, maintaining connections with loved ones is important. Be patient with them and with yourself as you navigate these changing dynamics. One of the most important things you can do to support your spiritual awakening is to embrace the journey with all its ups and downs. There will be moments of incredible joy and insight, and there will be times of confusion and doubt. All of these experiences are part of the process. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself, especially during challenging times. Remember that growth often involves some discomfort. If you're feeling lost or confused, that's often a sign that you're on the right track. You're pushing beyond your old boundaries and exploring new territory. Stay open and curious. Spiritual awakening often brings up more questions than answers, and that's okay. In fact, it's beautiful. Embracing the mystery of life can be a profound spiritual practice in itself. As we continue our exploration of spiritual awakening, it's important to address some common misunderstandings. These misconceptions can sometimes lead to confusion or unrealistic expectations, so let's clear them up. One big misunderstanding is that spiritual awakening is always a blissful, euphoric experience. While there are certainly moments of joy and bliss, awakening can also involve periods of discomfort, confusion, and emotional turmoil. This is normal and even necessary. It's part of the process of shedding old patterns and beliefs to make room for new growth. Another myth is that once you're awakened, all your problems will disappear. The truth is, life will still have its challenges. What changes is how you perceive and respond to these challenges. You might find that you're better equipped to handle difficulties, but you won't suddenly have a perfect, problem-free life. Some people believe that spiritual awakening means you have to give up all worldly pleasures and live like a monk. While some people might feel called to simplify their lives, spiritual awakening doesn't mean you can't enjoy material comforts or pursue success in your career. It's more about finding balance and aligning your outer life with your inner values. There's a common misconception that spiritual awakening is about escaping from reality. Some people might use spiritual concepts or practices as a way to avoid dealing with real-life problems or responsibilities. True spiritual awakening is actually about becoming more fully present in your life, not running away from it. Another misunderstanding is that spiritual awakening will give you special powers or make you superior to others. While you might develop increased intuition or sensitivity, awakening is really about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings, not about becoming better than anyone else. Some people think that there's a specific endpoint to spiritual awakening, a moment when you can say, "Okay, I'm fully awakened now." In reality, spiritual awakening is an ongoing process. There's always more to learn, experience, and understand. One of the biggest challenges people face is the misconception that spiritual awakening means you have to completely change your life overnight. You don't need to quit your job and all your relationships and move to a mountaintop to be on a spiritual path. The real challenge and the real growth often comes from integrating your spiritual insights into your everyday life. Remember, spirituality isn't separate from your daily life. It's a part of it. The goal is to bring your awakened awareness into all aspects of your life, whether you're at work, spending time with family, or doing household chores. Lastly, there's a misconception that spiritual awakening is always a gentle, peaceful process. While it can certainly bring more peace into your life over time, the process itself can be quite intense and even disruptive. It's okay if your journey doesn't always feel peaceful or serene. The intensity is often a sign of deep transformation happening. Now, let's explore a simple exercise that can help support your spiritual awakening journey. This exercise is all about cultivating awareness and connection, two key aspects of spiritual growth. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for about 10 minutes. Sit comfortably, either on a chair or on the floor. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, feeling your body relax with each exhale. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to change it, just notice it. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath. After a few minutes of this, expand your awareness to include your whole body. Notice any sensations, warmth, coolness, tingling, pressure. Again, you're not trying to change anything, just observing. Next, expand your awareness even further to include the space around you. Without opening your eyes, see if you can sense the room you're in. Notice any sounds you can hear, any smells you can smell. Now, imagine that with each breath, you're connecting more deeply with the world around you. As you inhale, imagine you're breathing in energy from the earth beneath you. As you exhale, imagine you're sending out waves of peace and love to all beings. Sit with this feeling of connection for a few minutes. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. This exercise can help you develop greater awareness of yourself and your connection to the world around you. It's a simple practice, but if you do it regularly, you might be surprised at how it can deepen your spiritual awareness. Remember, the key is consistency, not perfection. If you find your mind wandering a lot, that's totally normal. The practice is in noticing when your mind has wandered and gently bringing it back. Over time, you might find it easier to stay present and connected. As we wrap up our exploration of spiritual awakening, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've discussed. Spiritual awakening is a profound and transformative experience that can touch every aspect of your life. It's a journey of self-discovery, growth, and expanding awareness. We've talked about the signs of spiritual awakening, that feeling of being more alive and awake. the shifts in your priorities and relationships, the growing sense of connection to something larger than yourself. We've explored the challenges that can come with this journey, from feeling out of sync with the world around you to navigating the dark night of the soul. But we've also delved into the amazing benefits of spiritual awakening, the deep sense of inner peace, the increased compassion and empathy, the joy and gratitude that can arise from simply being alive. We've discussed how awakening can bring a greater sense of purpose and meaning to your life, expand your consciousness, and even facilitate healing on many levels. Remember, spiritual awakening is not about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more fully yourself, uncovering the wisdom and love that have always been within you. It's about seeing the world and yourself with new eyes. As you continue on your own spiritual journey, be patient and kind with yourself. Embrace the questions and the mystery. Trust the process, even when it feels challenging. Remember that you're not alone on this path. There are others out there on similar journeys, and the universe itself supports your awakening. Whether you're just starting to sense that there's more to life than what meets the eye, or you're well along on your spiritual path, know that each step you take towards greater awareness is valuable. Each moment of presence, each act of kindness, each insight you gain contributes not only to your own growth, but to the evolution of all of us. Your spiritual awakening is a gift to yourself, to those around you, and to the world. As you awaken to your true nature, you naturally begin to shine your light more brightly. And in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep growing. Your journey of spiritual awakening is one of the most important and rewarding adventures you'll ever undertake. Embrace it with an open heart and an open mind, and watch as your world transforms in beautiful and unexpected ways.